Hello. That actually hit my head. But anyway, well, welcome. There are worse ways to start a good Tuesday than having a pillow hit your head. This pillow does have 2 birdie pins in it. But anyway, good morning. Hello, this is Beehive Quilt Shop, and I'm Annarose, and Mom and I have this fun toy store quilt shop, and we have a great team of people here. And we just finished a really great weekend of sewing. So I had one of my best friends, my girls who are 8 and 6 are obsessed with calling things like, if they have a friend, like are they a friend or are they a BFF? Mm-hmm. And so they're like, Mom, is she your friend or a BFF? But my BFF, Emily, was here this weekend. We met each other freshman year of college at K-State. We're in the same sorority. We're in the College of Ag. We lived together 2 different years. Like, she's just amazing, but she lives in Kansas City, and she has sewn for quite a while in her life, but she has made things I have never made, like curtains and placemats and things like that. But she came down and we got to she made a quilt, and I got to finish making some quilts, and we just had a great time at the retreat house. My mom came, my sister-in-law came. We embroidered stuff. Lauren's working on a cool store samples. Emily made a jelly roll quilt, and I finished this quilt behind me. This is at least 3-year UFO is what this is. I was going to go back. I had actually found the original picture because I was this close to ordering 1-hour photos from Walmart.com. And then I swear they just all evaporated out of my cart. I don't know what happened. And I lost that 10 minutes of my life. But anyway, I found the original picture of the day I started this project, and I meant to go look that up so I can write the full time frame. We talk a lot about quilt labels and how important those are at the shop. It's also still one of my biggest aspirations is to continue to make quilt labels for the quilts that I'm making, because I talk about it, but I need to be a woman of action and make more quilt labels. So this quilt is called June. It is from one of my favorite books of all time called No Scrap Left Behind. You can screenshot it. I'll put it here right in front of my face. But if you like this quilt, then you should get this book because it is called June, and we are on the cusp of June. So today's theme is the June class calendar of Tuesday Treasures. It is the UFOs and other fun magical things. But No Scrap Left Behind is one of my favorite books of all time because it's about using scraps and crumbs to make quilts. I am the person who will keep every single bonus half square triangle that is made, no matter the size or the shape. If it is bigger than 1.5 inches, I'm keeping that. I have a scrap crumb system of how I keep my scraps and how I instantly sort them when they become like a nugget. And I teach all of this in a crumb quilt class and a scrappiness is happiness class. So there's kind of 2 different classes that overlap. The crumb quilt class is scheduled in June, and I checked this morning. We have openings. So on Friday, June 12th, I am teaching the crumb quilt class. It's on Friday. You're going to bring your scraps. We are going to be doing this actually at the Hive retreat house, but we kind of have a very fun June scheduled because my mom and I, who don't take a lot of time off to actually sew, like, yes, we do go on trips to Chicago, but like, we worked the whole time and I never got to get my collage out, Anyway, we are taking 2 weeks kind of off, kind of not off, to have our own family retreat. And so that Friday is like the Friday before the end of our family sewing retreat, because we have some relatives that are coming into town that'll be in and out over those 2 weeks. And we told them, like, hey, would it be okay if we also had some classes at the retreat house? And they're like, yeah, that would be fun. So who knows what they'll be up to. They'll either be staying there or not, but we are actually inviting you to our family retreat at the retreat house so I can teach you my favorite technique, which is crumb quilting and scrap management. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, No Scrap Left Behind is an optional book for that class. The other class book that I just am obsessed with, written by the same lady, is Sunday Morning Quilts. So these 2 books are optional requirements for the Friday, June 12th class. That is also the day after Maribel's 6th birthday. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, these are just fun books. It is a fun quilt. So this quilt happened because it just kept getting a little bit bigger. It is big inside of the quilt. This is Cafe Sapphire is the name of this pom-pom, or not pom-pom. This is Tula Pink's pom-pom. It's called Foxglove, and we are totally sold out of it. And I did a thing I shouldn't do over the weekend, but sometimes, I don't know if this happens to you, but you get real excited, you're in the middle of a project, and then like you stall out. And if you don't leave yourself a note, why did I stop that project? Why did I not finish it? So my friend Emily's coming into town. We had a crazy wild day. It's on Saturday. We sold sewing machines, fabric, AccuQuilt. It was really busy. My friend Emily's here. I hadn't had time the night before to pack up my stuff. So I drugged. I did not drug my friend. Anyway, Emily hopped in the car. We went to my house and I pulled stuff out. So my 8-year-old gave her a tour. I'm just ravaging my quilt room, taking stuff. And I'm like, I knew I wanted to work on this project. So I take it and we get set up at the retreat house to get Emily set up on her sewing machine. We got cutting mats, waters, hydration's real important. Anyway, and I open up this box and I start taking it out and I'm like ironing it. And I realized I didn't have any more of this to make my setting triangles. You can't see it probably depending on it because this is a massive quilt. But this quilt is on point and these are setting triangles. And I had ran out of this fabric to make setting triangles. I had a nice stack of these squares, but you can't take a 4.5 inch square and turn it into that shape of a setting triangle. There's just no way. And so I came to Beehive in the middle of the night and I took what was supposed to be a kit to steal this fat quarter out because that's all I needed was one more fat quarter of this fabric and the bolt was already gone. I know we've gone through several bolts of this material since the last time I put this project away, but that was a benefit of being in a quilt shop. You also can't come to Beehive in the middle of the night and steal fabric, but I did. So we are going to have that replaced. We are going to get that kit back on the market, but there were no loose fat quarters for me. So I stole for myself so I could finish this quilt, but it was worth it because now it is 100% done. And that's a good chunk of what I was missing. So the note to self for the summary in this is if you have a UFO or 30 like me, and you don't have them done, if you haven't gone through there and written down, like, why did you put it away? Like, was it that you didn't have the right ruler? Was it that you were out of a certain material? Was it that you ran out of starch and that project really needed starch, so you folded it away? Was it that you needed more units of some kind? Was it because what was the story? And so if you can go through there and pretend you're your own museum curator and write yourself some good notes, that will help you so much more, so that you don't have to become a thief and steal from a quilt shop in the middle of the night, like me, to fix your error. So anyway, here's the deal. So that's the June story. That's the reminder. It is okay to have 30 UFOs, but you got to give yourself a breadcrumb note because you can't read your own mind from 1,000 days ago. It just doesn't work like that. So grateful to have Emily as an excuse for finishing that project. So anyway, that's the big story out of the way. But we have lots of fun classes in June. So again, if you're just joining us, welcome, good morning. It's basically a Monday morning, but it's Tuesday, so I'm going to take a drink. If you haven't fixed yourself a cup of whatever you drink in the morning, I highly encourage you to do that. But this is called June, and it's from the book No Scrap Left Behind, and I'm teaching a Crumb class on Friday, June 12th. So sign up for it, and more stories will be there. But anyway, Terry is the only class we've got going on this week. Terry is teaching this easy patchwork pillow class. This is for kids or adults, and it is on Thursday, the 28th of May. And so it's just a really fun project. We got this super cute sign that Desiree made. So this pillow's front and center at the shop when you walk in. But this uses 10 Sisters Easy Piecing Grid, which is a great way to lay out your projects. This is a free pattern. And if you're a child under 16 that wants to come to the class, bring a grown-up with you, and the grown-up doesn't have to pay for the class, just whatever amount of kids are coming to the class. And it is a 2-inch finished grid. So this is the product that we use. This is called 10 Sisters Easy Piecing Grid, and this finishes at 2-inch squares, just like on this pillow. And it's just gonna be a lot of fun. So sign up for the class. The details are online. You really don't have to have much other than bring a couple charm packs, a whole stack of 2.5-inch squares if you have them, but you don't even have to have fabric pre-cut for this class because we also have a huge selection of a pre-cut called mini candies, and those are 2.5-inch squares. So it's just a lot of fun, but we're very, very excited for some of the kids classes that we have coming up. Thursday, June 4th, we have a kids summer pillowcase. So that's the classic tube pillowcase pattern. So if you have a kiddo that's wanting to make a pillowcase or you want a refresher on making a pillowcase, you can sign up for that. It's from 10 to noon on Thursday. That same day, we have a ladybug pillow class, and that's in the afternoon from, I think it's 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. And that's a really fun project. These are great 4-H projects to get ready for the fair or just to have some summer fun. So look and get signed up for that. Posh Spring, we're really excited about it. This is another one where like we are opening up our family retreat so that you can take this class with Sonia. So this is at our retreat house, but this is Posh Spring, and it is the first Saturday of June is when this class is. So it's got tulips. It uses the mini quick curve ruler, and it's this fun umbrella. So Sonia is going to be teaching this class on Saturday, and there's openings for that. And Sonia, she's like an amazing organized person. And Sonia, one of her secret sauces is she wakes up in the dead of the middle of the morning, and that's when she sews before she goes to work. I think that that's really cool, but she has this great little quilt label on there. This was quilted by Annette Haga of Bluebird Machine Quilting. She did a fabulous job. I think she's on her way back from Europe today, but Posh Spring is coming. In case you can't make it to the class, but you want to do the project, the Quick Curve Mini Ruler, Posh Spring, the pattern, and we have this beautiful kit ready to go. It's only $60 for the fabric kit, and it has all those beautiful Kafe colors that are all in a rainbow, which Kafe and Brandon are coming to Beehive Quilt Shop in October of 2026. We're very excited. It's a glorious color, and it's the book tour for Kafe Quilts at a English Manor. House. English Manor House. I always just want to call it an English Manor, but it's an English Manor House. I need to ask if that's because like there's English Manor mansions or if it's a house. I don't know. But anyway, house is an important part of the title. So that's good. The next week, Rita, she hasn't brought the samples back in, but Rita is teaching the Just Add Butter Kimberbell machine embroidery class. So that's going to be a really fun if you have recently acquired an embroidery machine. If you are thinking about purchasing one, you can test drive an embroidery machine at that class, but it's a fun Kimberbell class. Just know that's what it is. And you have to like butter, Paula Deen, you got to like butter if you're going to come to this class. That's really the only requirement. Details are online, but that's Tuesday, June 9th. And there's half of the class is full. So there's still room for a couple more people to sign up. Then Thursday, June 11th, which is Maribel's birthday, if anybody knows, she's turning 6. She's very excited about it. I'm taking the day off, but Terry is teaching classes. So she's doing a summer kids collaging class, which maybe that's what I should do. Maybe Maribel should come to the collaging class. And then Terry's also teaching this quilted notepad. So this is the This and That journal cover. It covers a steno notepad. We just got a lot more patterns in because it's been popular, which is great. But it has a little room for a pin holder. It would just be a really great project. And Terry even did ink tints coloring on top of the front of the journal pad, which looks really, really nice. So if you want to sign up for that class, again, these kids classes can be for kids or grown-ups or a mixture of both, depending on the age. So feel free to sign up for those. And I told you about my Crumb class. And then there's a charm pack. Well, that one I don't have a sample of yet, but there is a kids tote bag class. So look on the calendar for that. But again, that's for kids or grown-ups, but it's a tote bag class. And then we are starting this new machine embroidery group for machine embroidery UFOs. And that is on the last day of June, which is Tuesday, June 30th. So sign up for that. Also in June, we're going to be talking about our local quilt guild. The We Capital Quilt Society has our American Patchwork as the theme of our quilt show. And so if you live in the greater Wichita, Wellington area and you would like to exhibit in our quilt show, I did put it on the calendar for July, and it has links to the sign-up sheet so that you can download the entry forms for that project. Mom has a fun little trinket she's bringing in on Tuesday Treasure. Here she comes. Here she comes. This is my mom, Connie, if you haven't met her before. Hi, Mom.
Hello. I had some fun things. So a lot of times summers are filled with doing lots of sports activities and fun things.
Yes.
And I found these 2 panels in the back. These are basically already put together quilts. All you need to do is either customize them with somebody's name. You could use machine embroidery. You could use applique. But these are just great. I think they're 50.
Oh, yeah, this is a great Tuesday treasure.
Yes.
Tuesday treasures, we try to show you some of our cool old ideas that we've forgotten about,
So we only
which is
have
why
2 of these
a
left, so I'm
UFO
not
is a
gonna
good
spend
idea.
a lot of time on them, but they really are just It's a fabulous quilt that features, it looks like
Oh, here's the
football,
top.
baseball.
Here, let's show them the top. This is the top.
Yes. So you can customize this. It's already all put together. I think it's like 50 by 70 or something like that.
Which this is a handful of the reasons why sometimes we get
And
quilts
it's
done
called
so fast.
storage panel, so that's all you need to type in the computer to find it.
Yeah.
Can they see it? Yes. But anyway, this is just the only area that you can do something with.
Not
It's
the
just-
only area. You could chenille this. So chenille it. We have been
yes.
selling so
But
much
it's just-
chenille it.
It'd be a
So much
great
chenille it
thumb to
online.
take on, you know, yeah, it's just fabulous.
What's it called? A trunk quilt, you know? Not because it's a trunk show, but because, you know, you got to have the quilt that you
And
throw in
it's-
the back.
Yeah, it's an amazing price. So when you type it in,
If you eat on it, you spill Kool-Aid, it doesn't matter. This is that quilt. So if you're learning to quilt, walking foot quilting, which that's the other thing I got to get I have a very important machine repair I'm doing across the street right after this. But then I promise I am going to be putting on these really cool free motion quilting, ruler quilting, and machine embroidery quilting classes from a new teacher that we're going to be getting on the calendar after I do my important thing. You know, I got to get some screwdrivers, Mom. You know what screwdrivers? You'll get me my toolkit. Mom's going to help me find a screwdriver. My, what's it called? My sad toxic trait, which is the opposite of my friend. My friend Emily has like her own wood saw and all kinds of stuff. She's a very handy person. I still sometimes have to think really hard about what the names of screwdrivers are called. Female empowerment. I need a female empowerment toolbox. That should. My birthday is coming up, you know. But anyway, my husband has tools. I'm afraid to touch his tools, just like he's afraid to touch my quilt room. We have mutual, which is also just called respect. But anyway, I probably need my own female empowerment toolbox. So I should take a class that's like, you know, these are the names of the types of tools that people could have, because I don't like sounding uneducated. But like if I was stranded on the side of the road, I would have no idea how to change my tire. I could look it up on YouTube. I'm sure I would figure it out because I can repair a sewing machine, but you know, more on that later. Back to my quilt here. So Tuesday Treasures, UFOs, you can go to YouTube and watch some of our old ones. But because this quilt just kept growing, it's actually like 109 by 109. So it's king size. It's really big. But if you are quite a quilter, you'll know that 109 by 109 is 1 inch bigger all the way around than what would exactly fit a 108-inch wide back. And so you might think you'd have to piece a quilt. Well, Beehive Quilt Shop has a whole selection of 118-inch wide backs. So I was just starting to go through those this morning because now that my quilt is done, the next thing is to drop it off at the long arm, which we have long arming services here at Beehive Quilt Shop. You can ask us for it. We can email you or text you the photo of what our form is, but we do 2.5 cents an inch. Dana Kaler is our primary long arm quilter, and she does a fantastic job. But we are also friends with other long armers like Annette Haga and Sod House Quilts, many other people. Plus Dana Kaler has her own business as well, where she quilts for people. But anyway, the most important thing is quilts need to be quilted. And quilts need to be quilted with the correct amount of background fabric, or the backing fabric. So we require 4 inches all the way around, which means that your quilt, whatever the width and height is, you have to do +8 is how big your backing should be. So if I had 109 by 109 +8, that means I need 117 by 117, right? Yes. So that means my 118 wide backs are the perfect for this type of quilt. Which is why you should make this quilt king size. Anyway, this is a 118-inch wide back from Paintbrush Studios. This is a light lavender. It's really pastel compared to this. So although I love purple and any excuse for it, this really is not the right one for this quilt. I also looked at this one. So this one kind of could work. It is a white background. The rest of it's blue. I don't know how it looks good on camera, but the shade of blue is like the right. And these are these sateen finished wide backs. They're not just king size. They are silky, but they are actually 100% cotton. But most of the quilts that are on my bed actually have a sateen wide back on them because they feel so good. But anyway, so this one's a top runner up. But the other thing is, a lot of you saw that we got a pallet of fabric the other day. We have not inventoried it all yet, so we haven't put together our big sale. But we are going to have some cave pieces that are going to be at a sale for backing kits, and we're going to have some as pre-cut things. But we also have a big cave event this October, so we'll let you know when we're ready to sell it. But this is one of the ones that we got quite a few bolts of, and I love this fish. This is not called fish lips. This is called Pennywise, but this is one of I think this is one of Kaif's colors, and so it's pretty fun. But it's I don't know. It's an option. It's an option. It's an option. But I kind of still like a wide back. But Kaif's fabrics have a really nice thread count, so it makes it really easy. But part of the only reason why I was able to survive and get this quilt done is because my mom also gave me part of her Salvage pack. So I was not just shy this 1/4 of my pom-poms to make my sitting triangles. I also still had to make 19 more of this rectangle, this 4x8 inch rectangle. This is one of my favorite rulers of all times, but that's how big this section is. So I still had to, I thought I pulled enough strings from my stash, but this really did go through a ton of the leftover strings and weird wonky strips that I had in my stash. But I had been working on these units for like 3 years as like an in-between leader and ender type of a thing. I had a weird leftover chunk of fabric. I put it in this basket, and then I knew that that basket was pre-sorted for these colors, and I would make them into these units. But I was still 19 short. And I had just gotten back, to the quilt shop, and I knew Mom had a chunk of these on her sewing table, so she brought me a Salvage pack. So we still have a number of these Salvage packs from Free Spirit that are left. You can just type in. They're just Salvages, but you get 2 of these roll-ups. Some of them are Kaif and Tula. Some of them are Tula. I don't know how many we have that are Kaif, but this is beautiful. It looks like, unicorn poop next to this. It's just beautiful. But this is what got me through to finish making enough pieces. So if you need a new set of strips to spice up your stash and your string quilt, these Salvage packs are amazing for that. So this would make a great Salvage quilt if you've been collecting these for a long time and you haven't done anything with them. But they're just a lot of fun. But they're just Salvage packs. It's 1 pound of fabric, just 1 pound. We can lift 1 pound. So there we go. Other big news is, I don't know if we've told you this on a Facebook Live yet or not, but we have Patternies back in stock. So Patternies is like every collager's best friend. This is your blank canvas that you put all of the stickers on that you make from your fabric. So you put fabric, put it on Steam to Seam 2, and then that can be collaged and to make your own design or one of Laura Heine's. But all Laura Heine patterns except for like 5 and the whatevers call for Patternies. And so Patternies is only a few bucks a yard. It's $2.99 a yard.
Is that what you're building your project on?
Yes, and that's what you're building your project on. So however big your project is, that's how big of a piece of Patternies you need. So some people will buy a yard or 2 yards of it, so they have it in their stash ready to go. But we also have these pre-cut bundles. So we've gotten caught back up now that it's in stock. So you can come in and get a 1 yard pre-cut. You can also come get, I think we need to make some more 2 yard pre-cuts. But we also have this super convenient size that this is 19 by 23, which means that it's like an extra large fat quarter version of Patternies, because that's how big the teeny tinies are. So the teeny tiny collages are the ones that are called like group number 2, group number 3, group number 4. All of that series that says it's a group number isn't just a party number, it really is to do that size of a collage, except for the butterfly. They're all that. So that's just the thing. So we now have these are available, so you can order these online or you can order them in the store, but we have pre-cut bundles, or you can say, I vow to never be out of Patternies again. I will buy 6 yards of it, because that's also very reasonable. But we were out of stock of this exact version of Patternies for like over 6 months, I think. We waited a long time for the shipment to come, so we're very grateful for it. But the pre-cuts are the easiest way to buy them. So that's something. I'm going to schedule this as another class, but do sign up for my Crumb quilt class, because I do love it. It's one of my favorite things to teach, and it's just fun to get together, and so it's a good excuse to get a UFO out. Because I was talking about these 1 pound Salvage packs, and I think they're, I don't know what price they are, but they're a good price. It's less than you think. That I know. This is from a good friend of ours, Jackie Clark. This is her quilt label. Look how cool that is. She has that in the bottom. But she has her own Etsy store, and she sells bag patterns. She has backpacks. But this is her own design of a Salvage bag that she made out of Salvages the last time we had Salvage packs in. So these were, it's hard to hold. Just calm down. It's right here. But anyway, so she's got this matching set of Salvage packs. So if you're wondering what other projects you could make with Salvages, I just love Jackie's version of this. She used Sally Tomato zipper by the yard and did them handbag style. Which is just really fun. But handbag style on zippers means that you have 2 zippers and they kiss in the middle. That's what a handbag zipper is. So super cute, great for the Betsy box, great for your stash, but that's a lot of fun. I told you that Terry is teaching a whatever's collage class for kids or grown-ups. That's on the calendar for June. And this is also a Tuesday treasure. So some of you who are collage people or magnet people, you may know that Laura Heine, or you may not, that Laura Heine has her own set of 4 magnets. This is really great for holding your paper pattern to the Patternies. But we learned in Chicago that this is getting discontinued. She was only like retired. She's only like a guest designer for so long and they're like kicking her out. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, So Tights is going to move on to the next designer to have their own designer level magnets. So if you are a collage person, you really enjoy collaging, or you've wanted to do some of the bigger projects, these Sew magnets from Laura Harney are getting retired. And so we bought out all the rest that one of our warehouses had. So once those are gone, they're gone. Anyway, but it's just fun fact because it's actually a sad fact. Just food for thought. We also have, it's over here. Mom doesn't need to get it for me, but she could get it for me. But I have my Mary Poppins bag just 8 feet over there. And anyway, one of my next UFOs I really want to finish, except for technically it's not a UFO. If you are a quilter or a quilter term snob, it's not a UFO until it's 18 months old. You cannot call something you started 6 months ago a UFO. That is a whip. That's a work in progress. So technically, I have a whip I got to get finished, which this fun Elmer book we have a quilt kit for. But Elmer is a patchwork elephant, and he stands out because all the other elephants are gray, and he is colorful. He's this colorful patchwork. And so he paints himself gray so he blends in. But anyway, it's just a really touching story, but it's okay to stand out and be a patchwork quilt in a gray world. And if you ever get to go to Children's Mercy, they have this in their whole ER wing. They have a whole hallway devoted to Elmer the Patchwork Elephant. They have some original art prints that's there. But I had started this as a project because it's a fun, simple quilt. And that is going to be my next leader and ender project as I finish it out. So in my Mary Poppins bag, I have a whole bunch of these that are already sewn together in patchwork squares, and I just got to finish it. So if you like the patchwork elephant, or if you know of some kids that have maybe that they have to go to Children's Mercy more often, know that like Elmer really is like a comfort creature for that stuff. But I love that Children's Mercy incorporates artwork with those things. This is one of my next UFOs that I'm going to be doing. This is some Cafe. We have some Cafe chocolate kits that exist, and this is my next thing I'm treating myself to. Mom started hers this weekend, but it's at the retreat house. So here in a couple weeks, Mom and I will show you our Cafe projects that we're working on. But hers is super beautiful, but mine is chocolate. So that's fun. What other things did I have? And I had rulers I couldn't live without. What other things was I going to show them? Maybe that's all I was going to show you is patchwork elephant. Patchwork elephant. And you should always bring Post-it notes. Always bring Post-it notes when you go to quilt retreat. But pins. I had this. That's how I knew that I was 109 inches. And I already pre-knew ahead of time. We have got some other good ideas. Oh, I know. The other big thing about June. So the quilt behind me is called June. We have our June calendar. But the other thing with June is June 1st is when our Shop Hop fabric for October goes on sale and gets revealed online. So there was a big long email chain over the weekend. But if you happen to go to a quilt shop that happens to be in our October Shop Hop group, you can get maybe a sneak peek in person of the fabric. But it doesn't go on sale online until June 1st. So that's just a quick little secret. So just if you pop in, and you watch the live this long, you know a little secret, but you can maybe come in and see it in person. But you can't order anything online until June 1st. So just keep in mind, put June 1st on your calendar to watch for the grand reveal. We will do, was June 1st, is it a Tuesday? June 1st is a Monday. So we might have a special Facebook Live to show you what the Shop Hop fabric is for October 1st through the 10th. It's going to be a big deal. So very excited about that, but just know it's kind of a pre-secret. It is a secret, but June 1st, it's really happening. That's fun. And then this just happens to be a really cool pattern that I was excited for. I saw was hanging. We have lots of cool patterns. Love it. That's our Tuesday treasure. So, oh, I know. I was gonna show you these quick little. Let's show you these 2 orders here first. We have some people. Their names are anonymous, but orders that we got in over the weekend. This is an American Jane pin dot. Great background fabric. This is the cream color. It's called ice cream with tiny dots, but someone ordered that. We had another person from Pasadena, Texas, and they ordered all this cool shop hop fabric for the all Kansas, all Nebraska shop hop. So it's just quite marvelous. So complete with cows. If you have been looking for cow fabric, here's cow fabric on sage green. It has a few goats and chickens, but it's worth it because it's mainly cows. So there you go. So those are a couple. We have way more orders than that, but that's just 2 of the ones I wanted to show you. So now I'm going to let you go sign up for classes in June and stay hydrated.